So if you want to fight against folly, the first thing Solomon tells us is this: watch your path. Watch your path. And the idea is reinforced in verse 3. He says, even when the fool walks on the road, he lacks sense. And he says to everyone that he is a fool. So we should not just beware the path we take, we should be careful how we walk on any path set before us. In other words, what Solomon tells us is that the foolish person will expose themselves as a fool in how they live and how they act. Now, a really important caveat I want to mention here is this. When the Bible refers to somebody as a fool, they are not referring to somebody of low intelligence. And if I were to ask you, who do you know that's a fool? What type of person would come to mind? You would say somebody who's pretty dumb. But that's not what Solomon's saying. No, he says in order to understand, it's important to understand that folly can show up at any end of the IQ scale. Be careful and examine yourself, essentially. Because a fool is somebody who is impulsively disobedient, arrogant, somebody who has no regard for the glory of God. In fact, Counselor Dan Allender says the fool is guilty of hot anger, a self-centeredness, a hatred of discipline and wisdom. So the question that we should be asking ourselves daily is this: am I playing the fool today? Am I playing the fool today? And if I am, I may be the dead fly who's making the expensive perfume stink. So speaking of hot